All right, backed by popular demand, this video is the top 5 Close.com workflows. And if you are a founder, a sales leader, a sales manager, even a sales rep, and you are not quite sure what Smartviews to use, then this video is going to break it down for you. I'm going to share my top 5 current workflows, which are actually different than they used to be. So we're going to jump right in. Again, the reason I say current is because we audit accounts every single week, and we build accounts every single week for different industries. And these are the ones that I'm focused on most because new leads coming in, being able to talk to those correctly is important. And we have one smart view for that. But what we're seeing is a lot of leads in the system that just aren't being worked effectively after they enter the system. So we're going to cover both of those. Now, this first one is just to make sure your CRM is clean. So basically this is strategy session booked with a data call before today. All right. And then there is not a strategy session completed or a strategy session not completed activity. So in short, this means that the sales rep did not do their job. They should have logged an activity that should be in here. If there are any leads in here, we need to first go clean up our CRM. Number one, most important thing, because none of these other smart views work if we have a disorganized CRM with a bunch of activities that were supposed to be submitted that were never submitted. Okay. So number one, admin workflow. Number two, and this is where it gets fun. This is where we can go collect $100,000 in 24 hours if you implement this. I've seen it happen as of like 2 weeks ago on one of our brands. So number two is booked, no action. Basically, there is a strategy session booked activity, and the date is not within the last 7 days. There's not a strategy session completed. There's not a strategy session not completed. There's no deal won. There's no deal lost. There's no upcoming task. And the date of last communication is not within the last 2 days. So in short, these are leads that had a strategy call booked with us and nothing has happened so far. So either they didn't show up or sales rep didn't log an activity or we don't have a future dated task. This is going to bubble up anyone that should have had a call with us and didn't end up having a call with us. Okay. Number 3 is going to be ghosted follow-up. And this is where the money is. I literally find hundreds of thousands of dollars sitting in this specific smart view when we do CRM sprints and audits for our clients. Now, basically all this is strategy session completed with an outcome of follow-up or long-term follow-up. So these are leads that were marked as follow-up or long-term follow-up, and they actually had a conversation with us. Now, the second one is date of communication is not within the last 30 days, and number of incomplete tasks is less than 1. Okay. So what this smart view is doing is bubbling up anyone that we had a conversation with. They were marked as follow-up, and now we have not communicated with them in 30 days. And you will be blown away if you put these 3 simple filters onto your Close Smart View, how many leads are in there. This list should be 0, 100% of the time. Okay. Now, to prevent this from happening again in the future, what I highly recommend, I might make another YouTube video on this. I don't have one yet, but what I would highly recommend is creating a Zap or a webhook, but probably a Zap that is going to trigger as soon as a lead hits this smart view. And that is going to unassign a lead owner. And then it's going to enroll them into a workflow and either assign a new owner or just keep it with no owner and text and email them. Okay. So it's going to re-engage that lead and get them back in our CRM, right? Get them texting back. Now, hopefully we can prevent it from ever hitting this spot because of the other 2 smart views. But if it does hit this, then we can do one of the following options that I just mentioned. Number 4 is dial party. So this is all incoming leads. Basically, if there's a new activity, and the activity type is VSO opt-in. So if you guys don't, I want to cover this actually real quick. So custom activities. If you guys have no custom activities in here, you need to add them. Here is a list of ours, just so you can see them. New activity, new purchase. Triage called book completed, not completed. Strategy session booked, not completed, not completed. Follow-up, deal won, deal lost. Okay. So basically, anytime a new lead enters the system, they're going to be marked as new activity. They're going to have a date of activity, and then they're going to have an activity type. In this situation, it's like VSO opt-in. It could be a webinar opt-in. It could be downloaded free asset, whatever it is, right? So basically, they opted in. The date of last communication is not today. The total number of upcoming tasks or incomplete tasks is less than 1. So there's no task on that. There is no strategy session booked, no strategy session completed, no strategy session not completed, no strategy session or deal won, and no deal lost. Meaning we haven't got a hold of them. We haven't taken any action with them, but they opted in and we haven't communicated with them today. So we need to call these people. Again, this list should be 0 by the end of the day. Now, if you notice, all of these smart views, and this is a huge principle you got to understand, all these smart views are buckets. Okay. So what that means is that this list will go to 0 as we work through it. So as we make calls to them, they'll disappear. As we create tasks on them, they'll disappear. As we mark strategy session completed, they'll disappear. When I come in tomorrow, new leads will pop back up on here because they're either a new opt-in or we haven't had communication since yesterday, so they're going to pop back up on here. Okay. So pretty straightforward. Now you can also add one filter. So calls, total number of outgoing calls is less than, let's say 7. Okay. So you can add that filter basically to prevent them from being called too many times or indefinitely, depending on your sales process. All right. So that would be number 4. And then number 5 is a catch-all. And I prefer this for managers most of the time. Basically what this is saying is that these leads came into the system and have had no contact whatsoever. So there's no deal lost activity and the total number of times communicated is less than 1. This should be a WTF bucket. Why in the world would these ever exist? Why are there leads coming into our Close CRM that have had 0 communication? No emails, no text messages, no calls. This list, again, should be 0. If you go implement all 5 of these and every list is at 0, I'll send you a coffee. I can guarantee though, if you go implement these, you're going to have people on each of these, and most of them you're going to be able to go collect cash from, especially this ghosted follow-up. So let me know in the comments if you implement these, how many leads you had in each bucket or in total. And then if you were able to go collect cash, and if you have any questions. Other than that, I hope this video was helpful, and go set up your Smartviews.